Alright, it's that time again. Time for a state of play.
You know that it's mostly focused about VR and the third-party stuff.
Apparently, Spider-Man 2 won't be there because there's a preview coverage tomorrow.
Anyway, it's cold.
Apparently.
I thought we were going to start with someone's dead body.
No.
I mean, interesting start.
You okay, mate?
This looks like a British-made game.
What's that weird Barty's doing?
I am not sure what to think.
Is this the Ministry of Silly Walks?
Don't you just hate it when you wake up in the middle of a mountain on your pajamas?
Wait, what the fuck is happening?
Is this an adaptation of The Hangover? Oh my god, is this a game with the controls of QWERTY?
I mean, we've all been through this, right, guys?
Absolutely. To be fair, I have some stories to tell of when I got drunk a couple of times.
Oh, Mondays, am I right?
Okay, that
you
looks
almost
like it
made
hurts.
it.
What is this? Just tripping the simulator?
Yeah, no, this seems to be like one of those games where you control your legs with the behind button.
I actually find that interesting. Let me see.
Wait, the tripping simulator, isn't that Smash Brothers Brawl?
I'm kind of curious about what this is,
Trying
actually.
to understand what the controls that are showcased here now is the fact that you hold the button and you move with the corresponding analog stick to the intensity you want to move the leg.
Boy, the newest Joseph Ferris game looks pretty weird.
Hi.
Learning how to walk in heel simulator.
Okay, these spaces are diving in string on Canny Valley to me.
I think that's the point.
I'm pretty sure that's part of the joke.
Grapple that fucker with my grappling hook.
Oh.
Just grapple that fucker. Oh, just grapple that fucker. Yeah, good.
Okay, I swear this kind of writing style was done at some point before, but I can't remember what exactly.
Mostly Simon Pegg movies like the Cornetto trilogy.
I don't know where.
I love how he walks like he has chicken.
And I love all the SS jiggle physics.
Yeah. You want some ass jiggle physics?
Baby steps, what?
Well, that happened.
Baby steps.
Bye.
Where you walk like you've got a metal rod up your ass.
Yes.
Well, that's an interesting game.
PS5 and this is Jackass. Whoa! Oh my god, it's owned by Bennett Foddy. My god.
Wait, who's that?
Huh?
The creator of the guy in the barrel that has to move with the hammer. I forgot the name.
You know what?
Getting over.
It was giving me vibes of that.
Was that game good or bad?
Frustrating.
Wait, which game?
I forgot what
Bennett?
it's called.
These demonstrate the
You
experience.
called it Bennett, wasn't it?
No, Bennett Foddy is the name of what
On that
developer.
note, I'm very excited to welcome PlayStation players to
This
Roblox.
woman is the head of
This infinite
third-party
variety of
relations, I think.
experiences is making the jump to
Okay, so we're
PS4
getting a
on October
PS4 version
I'm
of
curious about her
Roblox.
necklace.
Sure.
It looks like it does
So you can
something,
join
like a
66
materia.
million daily active users across PC, mobile, and other platforms. We can't wait for you to
Yeah, we knew
explore
about
millions
this
of
that
experiences together,
Roblox is coming
and to see what you
to
create.
PS4.
Alright,
All right.
let's dive in. Starting with a look at two great games.
Like you said,
coming to
people create a lot of
PlayStation VR
interesting
2.
things with Roblox, admittedly.
Alright, so the first two are going to be
Oh,
VR2
Ghostbusters?
games.
Oh, VR. Yeah.
You're practically recreating entire games in Roblox.
Yeah, this makes sense too. Basically,
job to get done. This city isn't going
There
to
you
save
go.
itself. To get
I mean, to be fair,
The
this
Ghostbusters
kind of-
movie is delayed.
oh, is it?
will give you the
I mean,
best
with the
chance
strike,
because of the
yeah.
strike.
Oh yeah, right.
access to the latest ghost-busting gadgets, if you can earn them. We're talking turrets
Because I
To be
think it
fair,
was
something
supposed to
like
come out this
Ghostbusters,
year.
and so much more.
But to be fair, something like this, you can, I can
Now you
get,
can
I can use,
now you can feel like you're a Ghostbuster.
Oh, you have VR,
Aren't you
dudes.
the mid to end
No, I don't.
2000 video game for PS3 and Xbox 360 actually was
basically-
a good
Basically, Joe, my main sticking point with the VR2 at the minute, it costs more than the console itself.
Good God, that's
Rise of the
ridiculous.
Ghost.
Mini
It
bucks,
is.
you can be a real pain in the...
That might explain why I haven't heard as much buzz for the VR2. Probably because...
And of course, horror games, yeah.
Has anyone ever tried any PlayStation VR and stuff?
Yeah, these are some of the better options for VR, the horror games, since a lot of horror games are first person. So.
To answer your question, Deji, definitely not.
Oh, Resident Evil.
Like
I've played VR, but not PlayStation VR.
I tried VR boot at the console, you know, just for the funsies, and it's an interesting experience, but not something that I would personally do. Probably.
I do.
Is this a port of Village?
Yes.
Yeah,
no. This is for remake.
Yes, Pedro.
I personally want to try out Astrobot for
VR.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did hear that that's a really good VR game.
Yeah, we knew this was coming, so.
Elsewhere,
Pretty
another
much,
mission
since
is
Resident Evil 7,
underway.
every Resident Evil game had a VR mode.
This is Gondor 1. President's daughter.
Oh, I think it's the DLC for Ada.
In this village. I'm seeing increased movement from Los Eliminados. Don't get careless.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Separate Ways, is that what it's called?
Or another mission. Basically, Ada had 2 technically campaigns. I'm guessing they might be amalgamating into one.
Find Lewis. Fetch me the amber.
Hi, Wesker.
Ada. Or you just
It sounds like Christian Slater.
Yeah,
like,
that
I
is.
get why they recasted him, because everyone is being recasted for the remakes. But it's a bit of a shame because DC Douglas will always be Wesker to me.
The thing.
I know that the person that's voicing Ada is the one who played her in the Welcome to Raccoon
Resident
City
Evil
movies.
4 Separate Ways.
I'll admit, I do have to wonder if eventually the remakes are. Well, okay, the remakes are obviously.
In a week from now.
Like, the remakes are obviously their own timeline, given the divergences they do from the original timeline, which is still where 7 and 8 are spawning from, so I have to wonder, when they run out of games to remake, if they're just going to have the remake timeline spin off into its own thing.
You underestimate the amount of spin-off that have been present since the beginning, Trevor.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Oh, Avatar.
Other than the Avatar game.
Frontiers of Pandora.
When's this coming out again? This year? Or?
Either this or the next. Remember, Ubisoft has to release it to match the fiscal year.
Originally, it was supposed to come out the same year as Way of Water for that synergy, but it got delayed. Because Ubisoft may be on fire.
And as we know, James Cameron has been super chill in actually giving every single possible material to Ubisoft to work with, and it did work out for what he was supposed to do in the first game. So again, I'm also confident for what this game wants to do should work out as well.
Yeah, man. I hope Avatar fans
for,
enjoy it.
this current gen only, so PS5, Xbox Series, and high hardware PC, so it's actually out of my league.
If I can get this, I'll probably, if I end up getting this, will probably be on PS5.
If I get it, probably PC.
You do realize everyone who says I won't hurt you ends up hurting them.
What I am curious is that they want to be cheeky and actually reference, not reference, but mention at what point in the timeline this is it. If it's maybe in that gap, years gap, that's between the end of the first and beginning of the second movie, which would make sense. Well, no, to be fair, there are still some humans, I think, in this game, so maybe not.
I will not allow the RDA to destroy this land. This is my home.
So yeah, of course, in typical tradition, our protagonist is somebody who straddles the line between how human she is or how much she will be with the Avatar.
Okay, as someone who actually enjoys the Avatar movie, the James Cameron's Avatar movie, I will say this. I know that it's because it's supposed to be parallel to Dances with Wolves and everything, but I found it particularly...
that you get guns?
No. I found it particularly...
December 7th.
I don't know what to think about it, but the fact that most of the narrative has to be about humans who basically close native instead of starring properly, you know, a Navi.
That's my problem with Avatar. It's just the same shtick over and over.
Well, it's not about the same stick to me. It's more, you know.
Alright, is this Cyberpunk?
No. I don't know. Yeah, I think it is.
Oh, you're ahead, so. And it feels too fast for Cyberpunk, unless this is a interesting.
Wait, is it? No, it's not. Okay, Ghost Runner.
It's Ghost.
Oh, Ghost Runner.
Yeah.
That's cool,
it's a Ghost Runner.
Ghost Runner 2.
Gossamer, yes, the Looney Tunes character.
Yes, we know all those particles within the PS5 controller.
Wow, Joe, I didn't know the PlayStation controller was made out of fire.
It is now.
Yes.
Be careful not to touch it, otherwise you'll get burned.
Is this a thing like promoting new decals for the controller?
But you see, Webs, that way when you transform into Ifrit in Final Fantasy 16, you can literally feel the burn.
Genius
my hands will be destroyed.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's what it is, decals.
And look at that, there's also a nice variant, which means you can also feel when
I think they're showing off I think they're showing off new PS5 designs too, because I recall some of these controllers I recall some of these controller colors were already a thing. Like, I have the red PS5 controller.
already a full black variant.
Oh, Helldivers.
I think?
Pretty sure there is, and I'm absolutely sure I've seen a blue one.
Creative director at Arrowhead Game Studios. And today,
yeah, Helldivers 2 here.
Wait, this is that live
Starship Troopers video game.
Oh, really?
This is that live service game, right?
Well, to be fair, it has the same kind of mythos. The super jingoistic human military that overestimate themselves having to fight bad people.
Today, we join a squad on one of the many planets in the galaxy, set on an important mission to eliminate a deadly bile titan.
Considering the major multiplayer focused you know, Sony IPs up until this point were stuff like SOCOM, which were instead much more vanilla. This is actually much more creative, so I appreciate that. Sure, there was Starhawk technically, but that one did not add really that much added. It was just set in space, but it was mostly just about kill humans.
I'm switching to flamethrower. Oh god, no, it's the bile titan! Oh, I died. Reinforcing. Oof. I have to run.
You just hate that. You're playing the game, but then some Titan comes up and kills you.
You guys take him out.
What, isn't that your usual Tuesday?
I'll try to take him down from the side.
Nah, it could happen
happens
to me on Fridays.
Also, Pedro, that's what happens in Australia, not the UK.
Oh.
Oh, there's a charger here.
Like, seriously, you can be assured we will never try to conquer Australia, because there's some dangerous stuff down there that will kill you. They can keep it.
Also, Tail, who put the Queen in their money? They're British.
And yet, for some reason, even the British try to deny the Australians their Britishness.
It was a penal colony first, so what do you think?
You know, Britain tends to have that issue. You have your estranged children in America, and you have the children you literally pushed out in Australia.
Hey, Liz. Do you think you can do Hugh Glory trying to play House, trying to do a British accent?
Right, I don't think I have an option. We need to throw it. Throwing it out.
I don't know.
He's coming for me.
Getting out of the way.
Also, I love always these showcases when they're supposed to just showcase average multiplayer session, because they essentially have to just say the most, you know, predictable, cookie-cutted, you know, voice commands, you know, and banter between characters, which I know makes sense because they're supposed to advertise, but you just know that matches will not, and people say that.
I hope you enjoyed seeing a glimpse of just one of the many missions and
This
planets
looks
the game
good.
has to offer. Now go out there and spread managed democracy.
Well, that was 2.
Coming to PS5 and PC February the 8th.
Next.
At least now.
Hey, Spidey 2.
Oh, so Spider-Man 2 actually is here.
But I thought this was third party and VR only.
Well, Helldivers also is first party technically.
I already have it pre-ordered.
So guys, have you treated yourself already to 19 inches of Venom?
Phrasing.
But today I'm here to provide you with a first.
I know, you know, the only reason it's very in marketing is probably because it's developed by Sony, because it's literally their type of
thing you'll
humor.
notice is that our city has nearly doubled in size with the addition of 2 iconic New York boroughs, Queens and Brooklyn.
Hey, they had a Queens in Brooklyn. Awesome.
Combined with web swinging,
Sure,
allows
Dej
you
will
to
like
traverse the city in a
that.
whole new way and at faster speeds than ever before. Whether it's a neighborhood backdrop of Queens.
Also, from what I understood, one building could not return because of, you know,
The
like,
Chrysler building.
Hey.
Is that an important one?
Yes,
Yeah,
the Chrysler building is pretty much okay. It's the trademark building thing that you see in pretty much every Spider-Man game because it's the tallest.
That and the
building.
Empire State Building. They're basically.
Yeah, I mostly remember instead stuff like the Empire State Building or the Flatiron Building instead.
The Chrysler building is the one with the eagles, essentially. So yeah.
Okay. Also, curiosity: do we know if you know, Kingpin's tower still replaces the Trump Tower?
God, I hope so.
Hey, also,
Wait. That was actually a replacement for Trump Tower?
Yes, sir. You didn't know?
No, I just thought it was a generic building.
Also, Dej, good news. They added Queens in Brooklyn.
Yay.
I thought you'd be happy, given that one of those is your.
I am.
The first game also had cameo stuff like, I don't think it had the Baxter building, but it had the Wakandan Embassy and the Sancta Sanctorum.
Yeah, and the Avengers Tower.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man app to quickly track nearby areas of interest. The app will also include incoming requests from those who call Marvel's New York home.
There's no video game will ever try to attempt to make Staten Island interesting.
Maybe Spider-Man 3.
No, because even GTA 4, which is based off New York, they're like, yeah, we were going to include Staten Island, but we couldn't find a way to make it interesting because we visited. It was like, yeah, no one cares.
Come on.
Even people who live in Staten Island say, yeah, this place is boring.
Well, you'd think that Marvel, of all people, would find a way to make Staten Island exciting.
The more ways you'll be able to customize your spider hero. This includes.
But it's like they also wanted to make it
oh
accurate
snap!
as
You
well.
could, snap! You get Octo Arms in this.
Well, yeah. People have guessed already, but it's supposed to be essentially a replacement when Peter inevitably gets rid of the symbiote.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, you know.
Also, Jova, Miles still has the exaggerated swagger of a player.
Of course he does.
Also, I noticed the Spider-Man free suit from Peter.
Oh yeah. Awesomeness.
I hope he has the TASM 2 suit.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, is he basically Spider-Man 2 suit here?
Well, yeah, there's a Insomniacs and Spider-Man games have always had fan servicey outfits. That's not really a surprise.
The only one that I haven't seen it yet, but I guess it's just a matter of time via probability, is the Spider-Man, Sentai 70 show. Like I said, it's just a matter of time.
I'm still waiting for an outfit that makes Peter look like his 60s cartoon version.
There's a mod for it.
Sony transition.
Mm-hmm. 1 year has passed since the end of the great conflict.
Oh, is this Final Fantasy 16?
No, 16 already released. It's a bit too late. It's a bit too early to announce the DLC still. So it's.
I thought they announced the DLC a week or two ago.
They did.
Oh, indeed. Even just actually down on PlayStation IP.
The gang's all here.
Wait, what?
Is it a direct sequel?
I guess, because the game has been out for a while, so making a DLC of it doesn't make sense.
Is this a PS5 version?
It's on both PlayStations.
No,
how is this game?
It's awesome.
Another journey.
Yeah, I guess it is a direct sequel.
I guess
Tales of Arise, Tales of Asleep.
I guess I'll tackle it when I play Tales of Vesperia.
I would recommend not playing Vesperia as your first Tales game.
Not playing it?
I would recommend it not be your first. but that's just...
Well, I would love to play Symphonia, but
honestly, Dad, you should just start by emulating the PS1 version of Fantasia.
Is it Tales of Arise is required to play this one?
Oh, so it is a DLC expansion. Okay.
Toyoverse.
But it's so much time has passed, like a lot actually, in order to make a DLC expansion.
Is this that Honkai Star Rail?
I wonder.
I noticed Mommy Kafka, so yes.
Oh, you a fan of Honkai, Tio?
No, but I seem still.
Good taste.
You're a beta male, Tio.
Yes, but I'm also a beta male that doesn't support the Chinese government.
Yeah, like...
So you don't play Genshin Impact?
No, I don't.
Nothing of Oilverse, actually.
He just stares respectfully from a distance.
I play Genshin Impact.
Oh, nice. As for me, I only have room for one gacha in my life at the moment.
You and I are each other.
This RPG mechanic reminds me of Persona 5.
Say what, October 11th. That's when there we are.
Comparison that Genshin Impact had instead was
Breath of the Wild.
Say what, Honkai Star Rail comes out.
Stars.
Honkai Star Rail.
Yeah, that's the interesting
Honkai Star Rail
thing
comes
about
out in October on the PS5.
Yeah, the interesting thing about Foam Stars, while people who saw the first reveal trailer for this, people who apparently played it at shows actually said it's actually pretty good. Apparently, that's the
I believe it looks good.
I'm guessing that
looks like they toned down a little bit of the glare from the foam.
I hope it's free to play.
Or if they want to charge for it, at least give it some good single-player content.
Yeah.
Although apparently it's console exclusive.
I don't think so, Chiro. It's a Square Enix game, so I'm pretty confident.
I mean, check because the it has been a while since it was announced.
Happy Bath Survival.
Soa. Akito.
Oh wow, these unique characters! Get them in the next Smash game, totally, yo!
Melody.
Their design seems interesting, especially for Square Enix characters.
Oh yeah, I joke, but these designs do actually look pretty neat.
Square Enix really wants that Fortnite money.
Also, when the game was announced, it was only for PS4 and PS5, so unless we get to know more, if it's mentioned, later on in articles, I guess it might actually be, console exclusive.
I thought so.
Also, based off of the gameplay, more like that Splatoon money.
Oh, so you got one more Square Enix update.
To the critically acclaimed Final Fantasy VII remake.
Gee, I wonder what it could be. It could be anything.
Oh man, it's a Final Fantasy IX remake. Yeah.
Okay, no joke, that would actually be flipping awesome.
At least that's what everyone's
Gee,
saying.
most anticipated.
Don't spoil the ending, jeez.
Everyone dies.
Yep, there we are. The world will be saved, but will you?
Wait, Rufus is now in charge of the NWO.
God, Juno looks
Oh! Wait, are we actually getting as far as the point where they fire at Ruby Weapon?
No, the first visit Rufus with Rufus was just demonstrating with the Sister Ray. I guess it's a new thing.
Also, yeah, we
also
don't.
Companion. Show me Kate Sif! Show me Kate Sif, goddammit!
Actually, it's pronounced Catchy.
We don't know because so far the compilation never referred to him by name. So for all we know, yes, Dad, you might be correct.
You heeded the call too, did you?
The only reason why I'm saying is because Jay has been on my...
Others down there are having a little get.
And yes, he still has he has both the Moogle boss. Yes! Oh my god!
Whoa!
The only cat
my
Tio
God,
actually
yes.
approved
Wait,
of.
oh my god, you can drive one of those
A
two
unicycle.
wheels.
Also, he has both of the Scottish accent and the Moogle boss. I wanted to mention more about that in my final thoughts.
I prefer to be called Superman.
Wait! Oh snap! Oh snap! I think they're injecting some Crisis Core elements in there.
Goody. Oh, the Migdar Zolom we see also the boss from Junon.
Oh wait, Cloud and Sephiroth are
Wait.
together?
Did Aerith just...
Nibelheim flashback this.
Yeah. Also, they made
So,
it...
can we actually fight the dragon this time?
Maybe.
Because Crisis Core completely cut that
What the
away
heck, a
on that
Bowsy?
line. Alexander, and this Alexander drove up.
Oh. It looked like a Falsi.
Hey, the gold saucer.
Well, hey, look, guys, there was gonna be rioting if we did not have the golden saucer. And hey, he's back.
Hey, Chocobo races.
Also, it looks like Also, it looks like the girls will get special dresses for the dates in Golden Saucer based off of that outfit Yuffie was wearing.
Okay, I need to rewatch this trailer after we're done because there's a lot to unpack.
Parade, of course.
Man in the Hood.
Probably.
My favorite character.
That's I think that's supposed to be the bearded guy.
Dracula, Jesus.
You were saying, Tio?
I'll mention later.
Also, that bit with that bit with Tifa swimming, that looked like the bit where she was in live stream, perchance, which would mean this is reaching very far.
Available worldwide, February 29th, 2024 on 2 discs.
Sooner than I expected,
Wow.
actually.
Okay.
I thought it was going to be April.
We hope you enjoyed
they started early.
PlayStation 5 on February
Yeah,
29th.
of course. For those who held out, you can now get these 2 games packaged together.
And that's the end.
I forgot what I was saying, actually.
You mentioned something about the bearded guy.
The bearded guy might be the protagonist of the story section of The First Soldier. Because he had showed up with that mantle and that beard in the cutscene that introduces him in Ever Crisis. But that's reserved for when we actually have to comment on that. I started already recording it, but...
You know, would you say that we're in like a second era of Final Fantasy VII Mania where they're essentially franchising the thing? Because we got...
Oh, yeah, well, we already been told from the beginning that this would have been... the remake project would have touched all parts of the compilation in some fashion.
It really is amazing.
We got also representation from the novels too, so yeah.
I'll give Square credit, they have stuck to their word that they are essentially making the remake an entire era in and of itself.
And again, I think it deserves some credit, the fact that the remake part 1, it's such a divisive ending, and yet I'm still so interested to see what Rebirth is supposed to do.
I get the feeling that they knew to toe the line relatively clever. Like, at this point, they're pretty much more clear that, yes, this is going to affect the timeline.
But it will have on parallels the stuff that's happening with Zack, ideally.
And I think Ever Crisis will essentially be their way of saying, okay, guys, here's the original timeline in a way, I guess.
Alright then, final thoughts.
This was actually not a bad state of play, I'll admit.
Waves?
Yeah, it's, I mean, there are a couple of announcements I could take and leave, but the stuff we got to hear about Spider-Man 2 and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth all looks pretty fun. And hey, at least we know when it's fully coming out now, right at the very end of February.
What do you think of baby steps?
Oh god,
that's
very British.
That's certainly one way to open a show, a game where you can finally experience what it's like to be walking around with a pole jammed up your ass.
Like, is the idea that the guy is legit a baby in a grown-up's body, or?
I'm pretty sure it's just. I'm pretty sure that this game is not really meant to be taken that seriously. Or don't think about it too hard. It's just meant to be funny. Clearly.
And also, Jova, the last thing I want is Jack the video game.
There's Custer's Revenge for that, Waves, sort of.
Really?
So yeah, at least now I'll know how long I'll have to how long I have to save up for getting 7 Rebirth, and I'll definitely get it on disc because I want us to go back to when we have to switch discs in video games, just like the original.
Well, actually, Dwebs, nowadays you just install both discs and just play like when there's no actual swapping in game. Sorry.
I thought that's what it was going to be. I mean, I know some games, like more recently, I think the Red Dead Redemption 2.
Well, how about this? If I remember correctly, Dwebs, you bought the original PS4 version of Remake digitally, right?
Yes, I did.
Because I got the physical version of that. Basically, what it does was you have to first put in the data disk. It even says there, insert this disk first. It installs all the data there, and then you put the play disk and installs the rest of the data, and that's the disk you also use to play. So to avoid disk swapping in game, it installs all the data to the hard drive from the get-go, so you can just play it entirely seamlessly. So
just pray to God it doesn't fill up your system with how big these games are getting at this point.
Yeah, I'll probably have to sacrifice a few games on my PS5's hard drive to get it all working.
Again, Waves, is the usual. We're still very, in your collection on the PlayStation Store section to download again.
That's how it is. It's the same thing with Horizon Forbidden West. Horizon Forbidden West is also too... Sorry.
Even stuff that gets delisted, it's still your property afterwards.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how it is on the Xbox consoles, but on PlayStation consoles, that's how you install multi-disc games. I don't know how it is on the Xbox consoles. Probably it's the same way, probably.
Yeah, but yeah, overall, this was a decent affair, and I look forward to a couple of these games in the future.
All right.
Shiroi.
Okay. Well, Baby Steps was an interesting start. I don't know. That looks fun, honestly.
I agree.
I'm looking forward to seeing more of that. And
I got such weird Joseph
Sure, I got it. Sure, I got it. Regardless of who records it. Drinking game. Like, take a shot every time the guy falls.
Done.
You'll be as drunk as he appears to be by the end, if not
yes,
dead.
Exactly. Speaking about Foam Stars real quick, because I know people clowned on it from the start, and honestly, the teaser trailer did not do it any favors. But it does look like it's a decent time. I'm probably not going to play it because at this point, if it is sticking to being a console exclusive, I'm probably not getting a PS5 at this point. So I'm like perfectly happy with the Switch and the PCs. If it does come to PC at some point, maybe it's like a timed console exclusive or something.
I'm pretty sure it's going to come to PC as well eventually.
A game like this, it should. I mean,
yeah, it will. Don't worry. I mean, I seriously, that's great because usually when it comes to games as a service, games like this, it's much better to put them on all the platforms anyway. So
yeah, I'll try it if it comes to PC. The only reason I'm apprehensive on it, because people still clown on it, to be honest, it's more so like the thing that attracted a lot of us to Splatoon in the first place is the world. And so far, a lot of this just seems like Fortnite and Splatoon had a baby. If there's some like interesting in-universe stuff happening, then that's something that'll immediately have me interested. But so far, it doesn't seem to have any of that. And we've had a couple of trailers of it by this point, so I don't know. But and the other one,
I just said alas.
And the other one, the Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. Yeah. Yeah, it looks fun, I guess. The first part was fun. If I do get the game, I'm not going to get it until it's
complete,
all been released. Yes. So I will see you in 10 years from now, maybe. We'll see.
Hey, Shiroi, you and me on the holding out for the complete edition team.
Yeah, what's coming out first? The complete version of Deltarune or Final Fantasy VII Remake?
Half-Life 3.
Right. Metroid Prime 4.
Well, okay, let me put it like this. FF7 Remake was announced in 2015. But restarted developments. I won't give them too much crap. And it came out in 2020. This comes out in 2024, 4 years later.
And we don't really know how the extent of how the story will be covered, I guess.
Technically 2 years and a half, because the original Final Fantasy VII Remake on PS4 released in summer 2020, whereas this would be February. So it's more like 2 years and a half.
It came out in March 2020.
It was March, April, because it was. Yeah, Pedro.
Yeah, but it was like before the.
But to be fair, it did take away 1 year because that's the one way they used to develop is that the integrate episode.
True.
Yeah.
This is what I said in the final thoughts of the remake commentary. The reason why this is probably taking less is because now they have a lot of assets that they can use and can just move on, and also have more clear direction.
Kingdom Hearts 4 is coming out first.
No, again, I get the idea that they want to pace them for the fiscal year, so Kingdom Hearts 4 will come out after Rebirth, definitely.
Most likely, yeah. I guess
Those were the only things I wanted to talk about. This was an okay state of play for me. And that's about it.
Jova, go ahead.
This was not a bad state of play. I normally don't come in these with the highest of expectations, but the pacing was actually pretty good for this one. Baby Steps. I have no idea what the hell that game is. It looks like a Joseph Ferris game on crack, but...
People have referred to that kind of genre because there's a recent one that came out that's called Only Up as streamer bait, quote-unquote, because it's the perfect type of thing that streamers or VTubers would use to get a reaction, mostly.
Yeah, why not? I can see that.
They have a point. It's just that a lot of times they get a bad rep because of that.
I would say this looks like one of the better streamer bait games, at least.
Yeah, I just found it right here. Baby Steps will release on both PS5 and Steam.
Apparently, it was announced before, and probably at the Devolver Digital, the that they had beforehand, because this is published by them.
Also, I guess the Resident Evil 4 remake stuff is neat. Again, I'm a bit mixed on the Resident Evil 4 remake. Don't get me wrong, gameplay is great. But it does continue that issue I have with the remake timeline, and that I feel like at times the remake timeline gets a little too serious and not, like, fun in tone enough. But I digress. Let's see. Oh yeah, Foam Stars. Yes, it sure looks like Square Enix is going for that Splatoon money. I joke, but the character designs do look pretty good. That being said, unless this game is like a riveting single-player content, and if it's legit just multiplayer stuff, and they want you to pay for it, probably not gonna be on my docket anytime soon. Like, I do hope that Square do something incredible with this game. Like Sherry mentioned, its first showing wasn't the best. There is still room for hope. A lot of the other stuff was neat. Spider-Man 2 looks pretty cool. It's good that we got the Raimi black suit in there. I do think that we're onto something, that the octopus or spider, superior Spider-Man arms are probably going to be the swap in for when Peter loses the suit story-wise. And, of course, the big show was for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which, yeah, looks like it's bringing in more. Again, one thing I do take of note was that they're showing Zack's timeline, which I'm not sure what they're building up to, but I get the feeling somehow Zack's thing is going to intersect with the main gang's thing. Also, that bit with Tifa swimming really seemed to suggest that they're going to go as far as that point where she and Cloud are put in live stream, unless
it's supposed to be taking place in Junon instead. Maybe during the sequence of maybe this time you have to rescue Priscilla from the water instead.
And maybe it could be a case where the water only looks that way because it's polluted or something.
The monster that Tifa sees, I think it's supposed to be the bottom as well.
I guess we'll have to wait and see. Like, again, to give Square credit, they seem to have rebounded from the sort of tenuous taste that the 7 remake sending left in players' mouths to now getting people legit intrigued and at least interested to see where things go from here or there. And I will give them credit, they do seem to be sticking to the very ambitious task of trying to wrangle almost everything 7, even like from literature books, into the actual game for you to witness and play. How much of that will come to fruition, we'll have to wait and see, but so far so good. So, yeah, this was a decent state of play.
Alright, Pedro?
Yeah, I enjoyed this one. Like I said, Baby Steps looks really fun and interesting. It's a very cool concept, so I'm definitely keeping my eye on that. Foam Stars, it looks whatever. I think I'm not really into these kinds of games anyway, but it looks fine for what it is. What else? Oh yeah, well, the biggest surprise for me was Tales of Arise getting a DLC expansion.
After all this time, okay, remind me, the original game was released in September, I remember that, but it
September
was
2021, yeah.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Like, you're telling me that the Tales of team did mostly, work on this product. I guess it has to be a relatively big type of expansion DLC.
Well, yeah.
Were they potentially busy or held up by something
For
else?
reference, also, just to keep context, because people who haven't played a Tales of game do not know, the Tales of franchise is not normally accustomed to DLC episodes. The Styria had one, and it wasn't even particularly that good from what I've been told, but that was kinda it.
I've heard Zysteria in general wasn't that great.
That's because, too, after Hideo Baba left, the Tales team was restructured with new leadership, and these guys are much more, unlike the previous
that is true,
people,
but
these guys are definitely much more up to today's stuff. With they definitely embrace modern stuff much more compared to.
That is true, but Berseria did not have a DLC episode, strangely.
Also, think of Tales of Arise as the Breath of the Wild equivalent, where it's definitely the beginning of a new era.
Also, worth noting is that they took a bit of a sabbath between Berseria and Arise, and they did the game Scarlet Nexus instead.
Well, actually, too, Scarlet Nexus is actually made by, some people who work on the older Tales games, but they didn't work on Arise, because Arise is mostly made by new people, like Breath of the Wild was. Basically, after Berseria, the Tales studio was basically almost completely restructured, basically.
Okay, then.
All right. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to Tales of Arise's expansion, because Tales of Arise is, in my opinion, the best Tales game. So, pretty cool. What else? Spider-Man 2, of course, looks fantastic, but again, I have complete faith in Insomniac. I was never worried to begin with, so whatever. This is just Insomniac doing what they always do, so nothing new to say.
Is there a costume in particular that you look forward to?
Like I said, I want 1960s Peter suit.
Insomniac? So would they cell shade that in or something?
They had a cell-shaded outfit in the first
for Spider-Verse.
Well,
that was
the original
for Miles. Yeah, the original game did
You're thinking of Miles. You're thinking of the Spider-Verse outfit from the Miles Morales game. I'm talking about the original 2018 game. The original 2018 game had a cell-shaded outfit, but it wasn't based on any particular cartoon. It was just more based on an actual comic book design, specifically Steve Ditko. I want an actual cell-shaded suit that makes Peter look like his 60s self. And while we're at it, let's throw in some audio clips from Peter in that series. I mean, that would be amazing.
Props also if the background actually repeats itself instead of progressing.
Oh, that would be unbelievable.
And don't tell me they should not reference. That was a plot point in the Spider-Verse comic.
Yeah. So that's what I want, but whatever. Like I said, I have Marvel Spider-Man 2 is going to be fantastic because it's an Insomniac game, so that's basically it. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, looking again. By this point, I have come to accept that this is the remake series is a commentary on video game remakes. Not instead of the straightforward remake everybody expected, but for what it is and what it's doing, I'm enjoying it. What I'm seeing so far, so looking forward to see how things go. And like I said, we'll be able to discuss more line exactly what's going on with the parallel plot structure that they're going for. That being said, yeah, the battle system. This is another thing, by the way. This is also the first time in a long time that a Final Fantasy game reused the same battle system from a previous game. Actually, probably since Final Fantasy X, actually. So that's kind of interesting.
To be fair, the one from 10-2 did have some drastic differences compared to 10.
No, never mind. You forget. Well, okay. Let me rephrase that.
The after years actually had basically the same battle system.
Yeah, let me rephrase that then. The mainline, in terms of mainline games, in terms of 10, 11, 12,
Okay,
13,
then.
14, like the actual proper mainline numbered entries rather than sequels and spin-offs of
That
mainline
would be
games.
then 6, I think.
Well, 10 had the same, straightforward non-ATB battle system from the NES era.
I was talking more about, it being similar to their predecessor, because 6's battle system is basically the same as 5's.
Oh, true. But I'm talking about using a battle system from a previous game, not necessarily
okay.
from. Because again, this is the best thing about it, because they're going to be able to refine it properly. Because one of the big problems with Final Fantasy since Sakaguchi left has always been the lack of consistency. So nice to see that we're getting a bit more consistency between these parts. At least it would be quite egregious if they completely revamped the battle system for Rebirth.
Or, as Nomura said in interviews before Remake was done, turning the game into a first-person shooter.
You know, it's funny. The way you phrase that, Pedro, you make it sound like it's very foreboding foreshadowing.
Okay. But yeah. Yeah, like I said, I enjoyed it for what it was. Honestly, it's fine. Like I said, it did give me a surprise at Tales of Arise, so So I'm not really complaining. Not to mention, like I said, I really think baby steps is probably the most interesting thing, because look, that sounds like the more unique thing that in this game. So yeah, looking forward to that as well. So I enjoyed it. It was good.
Edge.
That was fine. Obviously, the highlights from Spider-Man and Final Fantasy Rebirth. But that's too easy. Like, oh my god, those games look really good. I cannot wait for Spider-Man 2.
Like, they're the obvious reasons you come to see this state of play.
Yeah. But if I'm being fair, I did like that first game they showed off where
Baby steps.
Yes, because that's actually a funny concept. I can see streamers having a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah. Like I said, drinking game, take a shot every time the guy falls to the ground.
Yeah. Maybe you guys can play it live one day.
Yeah, that would be really fun if I can get it's coming for both PS5 and PC, so I'll get it on my PS5 and maybe we can all stream it. That should be hilarious.
Ghost Runners 2 visually looks great. Maybe I'll try out the demo since it's out right now, so just so I can get a good idea of it. Dang it, there was something else. Oh yeah, about FF7 Rebirth. When I saw that black chocobo and they showed off chocobo racing, I had a groan. Because last night I was streaming 7 with my friends, and one of them was stuck at kept doing the golden saucer races.
Oh,
because he wanted that golden chocobo so he can get Knights of Round.
The poor fool.
As someone who didn't showcase it in our run because back then I was not paying too much attention in trying to showcase as much as possible, you have an easier time beating Rupee Weapon for it. Trust me.
Oh yeah. I'm sure because I think his plan is to do everything.
Let's be honest. Everyone wants Knights of Round for how cool it seems, but Jesus, the process to getting Knights of Round is so much busy work in it that at some point when you do get it, you're thinking, in reality, I'm probably so strong I could have beaten the game just fine without it.
Mm-hmm. He's also stubborn because he keeps Yuffie on his team and sometimes Barrett doesn't use Tifa. Shaking my head. But yeah, I am looking forward to it. Did they confirm that Red 13 is going to be playable in this?
Yes.
That was actually
we saw that then.
Essentially, since the structure is following the one from the original game, Red 13 is going to be essentially the highlight from the early game, since it's your new playable character now. Then Yuffie comes around, and I guess then Kate Sif. We see only Vincent at the end, so we don't know if the game is actually ending at the revisiting of Nibelheim or not. We don't know at this point.
Although this does raise the question, where would they bring in these characters to the fold? Because Yuffie and Vincent were, optional. Like, sure, yeah, there were certain points in the story, but you often got to choose when you would include
The
these
earliest you
guys
can
more or
get Yuffie is
less.
before June 1, and I get the feeling that's what they're doing. Especially
get the
because we
feeling-
see Yuffie on the cargo ship, so it makes sense.
When do you
I
think
feel
they'll
like
add Vincent?
That's why I recorded her.
Well, still in Nibelheim, where he's supposed to be get. Again, my speculation, big speculation for the time being, is that the revisitation of Nibelheim is a good stopping point as well.
I guess.
The only odd thing would be having only Sid as the only new character aside from Vincent for part 3, which that would be weird admittedly, but I don't know.
What if they're gonna make Zack a hidden party member to make up for that?
Okay. I don't want to get into leak
Yeah,
territory.
go that.
I'll explain off camera.
Fair enough.
Mike.
Off mic, yeah.
But since the game has like over 100 hours of contents, you can tell that there's a lot of love put into it. And it's also cool that you can play in the gold as well, so you can have that retro Cloud skin.
That's supposed to be the fighting minigame. I recognize that. Not the rock, paper, scissors, the one that you play essentially rock and sock 'em.
I hope you can, once you do that, you'll be able to play as Cloud in that costume throughout the rest of the games. Like,
the polygon switch.
So,
yeah, that's my favorite trend in modern gaming.
So if we're gonna give Cloud costumes, bring back the dress, you cowards.
Also, Spider-Man 2. I don't know if it's possible, but if you could probably have a retro skin from the first Activision Spider-Man game on PS1, do it.
Yeah, that
or
would
have
be
a
fun
skin.
too.
Yeah. But overall, it was a fine state of play, but a good day for gaming as a whole.
All right, I'll conclude then. No, this was interesting and on par with most of the other state of plays. To me, baby steps. It's fun for a laugh, but it was a very bold choice to open this with the state of play with this, because I know that it's not everyone's cup of tea. So maybe give people the wrong impression to be the first to just dropping it like that. But whatever. It doesn't really say anything. Among these quote-unquote streamer bait kind of game, the only one that I generally like is Only Up, because getting over it, the game that Benedict thought he did before, and that's too frustrating. It is still beatable with enough patience, and skills, but it's still too frustrating for its own good, and we'll have to see where this one actually ranks on that. Resident Evil 4 stuff, the VR we already knew. Separate Ways, we knew it was coming. Please just give a bit of a better voice direction to Ada's voice actress. She has been harassed online, and that's never cool or something that you should do. But objectively, her new voice actress, that has been around since 2, is still not giving the best performances. So I hope she can actually improve. That's all I'm saying. Helldivers 2 still looks fun for what it wants to be, especially with this kind of premise. I get it that people would prefer, if stuff like SOCOM or Killzone was brought back instead as a result. But this is, for the time being, is a good alternative for now, especially because the team developing, you can tell they're kind of having fun with what we want to do. Oh, there is that, technically. Foam Stars, I'm one of those people who did not really have much of a problem, with its first trailer. So honestly, this is not telling me anything much new. I'm interested by the character design. Surprised that the roster is not that big, which means that I do hope they had to compensate that with some kind of single-player content, because otherwise it would be a very rocky launch. With just a small roster and not too much of a handful of mode. But there is an open beta apparently starting to be set at the end of this month. So we'll have to see how that entails, for people who actually gets to play it. Spider-Man 2, I'm very surprised that they still had a trailer for Spider-Man 2, now, despite the game being really right around the corner, probably to showcase a bit more of the alternate costume that you can get. I noticed as I mentioned, both the black suit from the Spider-Man 3 movie, and the Spider-Man 1602 costume, Peter Parkwag. So that's always pretty cool to have one. But I don't know what more to say on that. But as been said, just wait a bit more, and also you can treat yourself to 19 inches of Venom. So there's that. As for 7 Rebirth, there's a lot to unpack, and I don't want to, elongate this as unnecessarily as it is. But then, it still manages to give interest in what the game actually will have, both for the retreading of the main game stuff and apparently this parallel path. It still leaves a lot of speculation, like how long it is. Apparently, my friend, the guy who contributes to the Wikia, noticed in the trailer that apparently also weapons have been spotted, which that's Northern Carrier stuff.
Maybe
so
I
we'll
was
have to
onto
see.
something that one of those bits with the cannon will actually be them attacking a weapon.
Dio's design is actually still cool, because it originally was literally just a guy in a Speedo with not much. Now instead is a more pimp-like outfit. The guy that gave Cloud the dress, I cannot remember his English name because in my country it's called differently.
I think it was Angel.
No, Angel, no.
No, God.
Anyway, being at the Gold Saucer is actually a welcome thing. I hope also this means also the guy who's in love with his motorcycle comes back for a rematch or something. Maybe for the mini game, that would be appropriate at the Gold Saucer. And considering that we know now that Jessie used to work there, we might get to know a bit more about her environment. I get the idea that the scene where Tifa and Yuffie are dressed up might be a recreation of the date at the Gold Saucer, so maybe we do actually get to the point of the Temple of the Ancients, maybe, I guess. Which also will mean that instead of having just to choose between the date, you might get Cloud maybe had to have a gag where he shuffles between, the characters around. Who knows? We'll have to see.
Oh, now I remember. The guy's name was Andrea Rodea.
Yeah, because instead in my country it's called Anyan Kunyan, which I think it's a Japanese name.
The idea is to make it rhyme, I guess, still.
But yeah, a lot of things, and of course, that cannot not mention it, Ketsi, or Ketchi, as Dej pointedly suggested, is the original Gaelic, fully playable, which apparently his gimmick is switching between 2 mods, fighting on the ground, like in Dirge Cerberus, of all things, and actually on the Moogle bot. I'm super happy, and I have I cannot actually wait to see actually how it works. Also, they kept the Scottish accent, and for once I'm actually happy about the full recast, because that means he cannot be voiced anymore by Greg Ellis. Yes,
I thought that was Liam O'Brien.
No, that was Red 13. Between last year and now, I got to know every single thing that Greg Ellis did, and quite frankly, I'm actually happy for the recast, and that's all I will leave for now, because that is its own kind of worms. Still, everything looks cool, everything looks interesting, and the release date to boot is actually earlier than I expected. So, let's just fucking go and see what happens in a few months, I guess. Prepare for any storm that may coming, I suppose.
It is the storm that is approaching.
No, Capcom. Well, to be fair, Capcom was in this for Resident Evil. Anyway, that's it for the state of play. See you for whatever happens next.
See ya.
See ya.